All right, so attempted video number two, attempted video number two, Saturday, November, I think it's the 23rd, 2024. Saturday, November, I believe the 23rd, 2024, Saturday. Vlog video two. So this video is just basically some little points of clarification, probably not necessarily about the dream tonight, because the dream tonight, again, was just a repeated theory dream that normally I don't talk about because it's not really vivid. I mean, it was vivid, don't get me wrong, it was vivid, but it wasn't like so mind shredding, so terrifying, so extreme. Um, it was more like blah blah, you know what I'm saying? It was more like what everyday life, like everyday normal life would be if I was in that situation. Yeah, that's all. It's just like it would just be like blah blah everyday life, pretty much, because of what's going on. The stalking by proxy, the abuse by proxy, more stalking by proxy, all of those things. That would just be like a normal day in the life. So I have a lot of dreams like that regularly, but anyway. So I wanted to make this video, or attempt to make this video, we'll see how it goes, to clarify some things that I haven't even talked about yet, because I've kind of had pretty recent revelation, and it's not confirmed, but I really believe it's accurate. Um, and I'm going to have to clarify it and show everything in detail at a different time, hopefully, if I can get things together to do that. It's really hard to get things together under the circumstances, but if I can, I will just lay it out so it's crystal clear. But anyway, the revelation is that during the 4 years, basically 4 years, of the initial fight to save my children, my actual real children, I believe I was supposed to fully admit it. I can't talk tonight. Fully admit guilt, if you would say it that way. Fully admit guilt for things I never said and I never did at all. Things that the child abusing ex lied and perpetrated abuse by proxy with by lying. I think I was supposed to admit to having done and said those things, like I actually did and said it, and not just like a simple confession type of scenario, but I think I was supposed to fully live and delve into like having done and said those things and doing and saying and thinking things like that ongoing, and just like be that person. I think that's what I was supposed to do. That's what I was expected to do. Except for nobody told me. Nobody clued me in. Everyone who handled that case, we'll just put it that way, was acting like I was supposed to be myself. I was supposed to say what was real and, talk about what was real and explain my real life, my real day to day, night to night life, the real things I'd done in the past, the real past, the real current. They were leading me to believe that's what I was, that they were leading me to believe like that's what they wanted to hear, but that's not what they wanted to hear. They wanted to hear a life that matched his lies. I needed to talk about a life that matched his lies, a history that matched his lies. And I didn't know. I didn't know that that's what I was supposed to do. And so when I didn't do it, they thought I was lying. Even though there was absolutely no hard evidence that I had lived that life that he lied and said I did, there was never any hard evidence. I couldn't find anything to prove it other than his lies and his abuse by proxy. That was it. That was the only proof. There was no videos, there was no tape recordings, there was no photographs of me living that life. There was nothing because I never, ever, ever lived that life. I never said those things. I never did those things. But they expected me to become and to have had that be my life. And I didn't know. I remember the loser attorney I had at the time. I did ask him on a number of occasions, like, I think they want me to become someone I've never been and like metamorphosize into, the character that my sociopath ex created by all of his lying. They are expecting me to be that person. And until I confess to being that person and get treatment and everything for being that person, just morph into that character, they're not going to be satisfied, and we're not getting anywhere unless I do that. And my lawyer at the time said, no, never lie. No, never, ever, ever say you did what you didn't do. Don't, no. And he was really strong about that. And so I just didn't even attempt it. And honestly, I don't even know if I would have attempted it if I would have been successful, because it's so the polar opposite of my whole history. It's so the polar opposite of my current life at the time. It's even the polar opposite of my life now. I mean, the sociopath's lies are the opposite, the polar opposite of my thinking, my feeling, and my behaving. Totally opposite. And my major medical problems that I've had since I was a child that are proven, they're proven. My medical problems are proven and they're physical, would not allow me to sustain behaving the way in his lies he says. I couldn't even sustain it. I mean, no way. No way. But, yeah, kind of a revelation that I've come to recently, this year, 2024, just a number of months ago, literally just a number of months ago, I came to this revelation. It was like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I think that's what I had to be. I had to morph into literally the character the sociopath created in his lying. And I had no idea. I felt like that's what they wanted, but my lawyer said no at the time. And so I let it go. And I didn't fully click on, like, that's what they demanded. So that's why things kept going bad for my children and I. And the other little revelation I had recently was some statements I made to who I'm assuming was a nut bunny counselor in the second part, should I say the third part of the quote unquote case. And she sent me an email, and I'd have to read it, and I don't have it in front of me obviously right now, but it was like she was thinking that I was the one, that I was the child abuser. And I never ever was. He was. And I have proof. I have absolute proof. In fact, there's a criminal police investigation against him at the time and whatnot, not a criminal police investigation against me for doing it. And the investigation against him was because of the proof, solid proof, not my word, solid proof. And in part of my reply to her, I said, I'm not the one. And now looking back in this revelation, she came into it with such preconceived notions that I believe she thought when I said that, I meant I'm not the one, like it's a threat. No, I'm not the one meant I'm not the abuser. I'm not the one. I'm not the abuser. I have evidence of who's the abuser. This is how the preconceived notions of these people, it's like you have to be what you're not. And, in the first part of the case, they had already determined, or soon after determined, I was not the one. I was not the abuser. They had determined that. And they literally testified in the last super short 4-hour BS joke of a court case where my lawyer brought no evidence that I had given her at all, no documentation I'd given her. She brought nothing, and she literally got every document from his attorney, meaning she was losing on purpose. That's one of the proofs that she was losing on purpose. But yeah, some revelations this year, end of 2024. Some revelations that I've kind of had a dawning of. And yes, again, I do need to break it all down. I do need to roll it all out and show it and prove it and everything, I realize. And I'm trying, but I'm having a lot of physical medical problems and a lot of logistical problems, and having to move into a vehicle because of the stalking by proxy, all the abuse by proxy and stalking by proxy. And he drugged me to court 4 or 5 times this last summer 2024, trying to get more money, trying to claim that I had businesses I don't have, trying to claim I had assets I don't have, wanting to take assets, take things away, render me homeless, ensure and guarantee I was rendered homeless, and somehow demand that I continue paying more and more and more money for him to continue abusing my children, and including parental alienation. So there's no visits, there's no phone calls, there's no texts, there's no letters, there's no cards, there's no contact. But I'm paying about $1,000 a month, and it keeps getting more and more and more without even a court